live on Facebook, but we're having some technical difficulties tonight. So unfortunately, we're not going to have a live feed, but we will record this tonight and post it to our YouTube page later. So, sorry, getting back to the attendees, just reading from top to bottom. Dan Denges, for the record. Jacqueline Maldonado. I see a number ending in 216.
Dan, that's Vince Harris's cell.
Okay, thank you, Vince. I see the iPhone. I believe that's David Carr. Petra Fava from Right.
MTM Transit and in attendance. Thank you.
MTM, I'm sorry. You'd think okay. I'd remember that by now. Amy Cummings with RTC. Yelena Williams. Jim Gee. Stephanie Haddock. Shen Wang. And I believe that's everybody. Did I miss anyone? Okay. So now I'd like to do a quick screenshot. Hopefully I do this correctly. I will count down if you all mind humoring me and putting on your cameras if you're able to do so. And when we're all ready, I'm going to count down and smile, say cheese. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Okay, let me just check and make sure that works, and then we can get on with our business here. Give me 1 minute. Pictures, here we go. Looks like a success. Thank you, everyone.
Hey.
Y'all look great. Okay. With that, I'll turn over to our chair, Vince Harris, to start the meeting. And just as a reminder, I'm gonna mute everyone. So, but please unmute yourself if you wish to speak or if you wish to make a motion. And Vince, if you wouldn't mind getting us started and calling the meeting to order. Did we lose Vince?
Okay, Dan, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, can now.
All right. Well, first of all, good evening, everybody. Good to see you all. This is Vince Harris. I want to start by, first of all, thanking Jillian for filling in for me last month. Thank you, Jillian. I was unable to make the meeting. Call the meeting to order at 5:37. If we could start with item number 1, approval of the agenda. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda for the evening, please?
I have one thing. This is Matthew Bogue. My name is spelled with 2 T's, but we don't have to reapprove anything. 1 T.
Thank you, Matthew. Can I get a second, please?
Jeff Bonanno, I second.
Thank you. Second by Jeff. All in favor, say aye, please.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, we have an agenda for the evening. Moving on to item number 2 on our agenda, which is public comment. Dan, did we receive any public comment for this evening's meeting?
We did not.
All right, then we're moving on to item number 3, which is approval of the April 7th, 2021 minutes of this meeting. First of all, are there any corrections or changes anyone would like to make to the minutes? All right, hearing none, if I could get a motion to approve these minutes, please.
This is Sig Yanorites. I will move to approve the minutes.
Motion by Sig. Can I get a second, please?
This is Jeff Bonanno, I second.
Jeff, seconds. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Hearing none, the item passes. We're moving on quickly to item number 4, which is recommend approval of the draft 2022 RTC budget. Do we have a staff presentation this evening?
Yeah, thank you, Vince. We do. I'm going to turn it over to Elena Williams. I just wanted to note for the record that David Jackelman just joined as well.
Hey, good evening, members of the Citizens Multimodal Advisory Committee and all other participants. For the record, my name is Elena Williams, Financial Manager at RTC. Can you see my screen with the final budget, the fiscal year 22? Okay, thank you, Jeff.
Good.
Perfect. So first, I will provide the overview of the budget process. The budget process started with a director's retreat in February. During this retreat, the RTC's directors discussed internal and external goals for the upcoming year. Then in March, the RTC Board of Commissioners received a tentative budget presentation. And after the board meeting, RTC submitted to the Department of Taxation the tentative budget as required by law. Today, I'm presenting to you fiscal year 2022 tentative budget, and tomorrow I will be presenting this budget to the Technical Advisory Committee. Then the final budget will be presented to the board during a public hearing meeting on May 21st. And then on May 28th, the final budget will be submitted to the Department of Taxation. By law, the final budget has to be submitted to the Taxation Department by June 1st. On my next slide, I will present an overview of the RTC's revenues. We have total of 198 million in revenues budgeted for fiscal year 2022. As you can see, RTC's largest portion is fuel tax at 92 million, which is 3% budgeted increase over the fiscal year 21 budgeted fuel tax revenues. The next major funding source is federal funding at 47 million. We anticipate to receive 19.9 million FTA, American Rescue Plan funds, and to be spent on maintaining full service levels of fixed route and paratransit operations. 26 million FTA funding is budgeted for public transit capital and 1.2 million for metropolitan planning operations. The next revenue source is sales tax, totaling 35 million, which is 20% increase over the fiscal year 21 budget. Last year, we planned a 5% decrease in sales tax revenue due to the pandemic that was not realized. The decrease was not realized. In fact, sales tax revenues did really well during fiscal year 21. So currently we estimate to receive 34 million in sales tax during fiscal year 21. So fiscal year 22 sales tax budgeted revenue is 2% increase over the fiscal year 21 estimates. So we also have budgeted 5 million in regional road impact fees. And then next is passenger fares revenues. During pandemic, RTC experienced a decrease in passenger fares revenues due to decrease in ridership. So we budgeted revenues at 5 million, which is 14% increase over fiscal year 21 budget, because we anticipate post-pandemic increase in the ridership during fiscal year 2022. The next one is RTC is budgeting 10 million in funding from NDOT. and that includes 8 million in reimbursements for specific project we have an agreement with NDOT, then 1 million in van pooling, and 1 million from Medicaid for the rights that we provide on access. Investment income is budgeted at 2 million. And then we have miscellaneous income that is budgeted at 1 million. And that includes road project reimbursement from utilities and other local agencies, also includes lease and advertising income. I'm done with this slide, moving on to the next one. Next slide is total overall expenditures at RTC. As you can see, RTC total expenditures are budgeted at 223 million. And the largest portion of this pie is for the road project, totaled at 120 million. And it includes capacity improvement and preservation and multimodal projects. It's a blue and red pieces of pie. RTC ride operating is budgeted at 38 million, and that's a 2% increase over fiscal year 21 budget. Then we have RTC ride capital is budgeted at 23 million. And paratransit operating is budgeted at 12 million. Paratransit capital is budgeted at 2.6 million. And I'll go in more details a little bit later. Debt services is budgeted at $23 million. RTC operating is $4 million. As you know, RTC has 3 major programs. So right now I will be covering the street and highway program. Someone, yeah, I hear the echo. If you're not muted, if you can be muted would be great. I would appreciate that, thank you. So going back to street and highway program. As you can see, beginning fund balance is at 141 million, and that includes the carry forward from the previous fiscal year, and also includes the debt service reserve balance that is not available for spending. Total projected revenues for fiscal year 2022, we have at 128 million for street and highway. And it consists of 92 million in fuel tax. Sales tax, we have almost 12 million. Then we have this NDOT revenues of 8 million. Federal funding is $500,000 in this program, and then 5 million in regional road impact fees. That's total revenues for street and highway. Now, proposed program expenditures are budgeted at 152 million, and that includes congestion and capacity projects at 46 million, multimodal projects at 36 million, and regional annual pavement preservation and road rehabilitation budgeted at 30 million. Here's our debt service is budgeted at 23 million. So our ending balance for street and highway is at 95 million, but that does not include the debt service reserve. So RTC will be carrying forward this balance for future road and for future road projects. So on my next slide, I'll cover the public transportation program. Total projected revenues for this programs, the beginning balance for this program is 28 million. So the projected revenues for transportation program are at $77.6 million. And here we have sales tax budgeted at 24 million, which is 12% increase over fiscal year 21 budget. due to, it's a significant increase because during fiscal year 21, we budgeted 5% decrease. That did not happen due to pandemic. Passenger fares revenues are budgeted at $5 million, and that includes 14% increase over fiscal year 21, as we anticipate the increase in ridership in fiscal year 22, and we're starting UNR BRT extension service. So that will increase the ridership as well. State funding is budgeted at $2.4 million, and that is a pass-through money from the state. We use it for the employee trip reduction program, and we hear from the state, we also receive Medicaid funding to supplement our access program. The expenditures that we're proposing for fiscal year 22, we totaled $76.4 million. The ride operating cost, $38 million, and it's only 2% increase over fiscal year 2021. Ride capital cost is budgeted at $23 million, and we will be using it to buy new ride buses. We're expecting to spend about $14.6 million. It also includes the upgrades to administrative facilities, and we're budgeting it at $3.7 million. Next is Access and Flex Ride. The operating cost is budgeted at $12 million, and that includes $2.3 million for the Flex Ride demonstration services. We have them in the following areas: Sparks, Spanish Springs, North Dallas, Verdi, and Somerset. Access capital cost is budgeted at $2.7 million, and it will be used to buy new paratransit vans. We're budgeting around $2 million to purchase in order to purchase those vans. It also includes the upgrades that we are planning for the Sutro facility at $500,000. So ending balance for the public transportation is at $29 million. And we have to reserve $13.5 million in that ending balance for the capital and grant and federal grant matches. My next slide is, I will discuss the Metropolitan Planning Organization. It's a third program that here at RTC. This program primarily is funded through our federal revenues at $1.2 million. And then we're proposing the following planning studies that you can see on the screen, totaling $825,000. We'll also start having safety and ridership messaging campaign that we're budgeting around $300,000. So in summary, RTC has prepared and presented to you a balanced budget for fiscal year 2022. We are planning for slow post-pandemic economic recovery. As Washoe County, as you know, unemployment rate is at 4.6 right now for the month of March. The national unemployment is at 6% as of March as well. And Nevada unemployment claims are declining and expect to improve even more as the economy is able to fully reopen. And that will impact the return of summer and fall tourism. So we're expecting a slow, moderate increase, actually we call it marginal increase in our revenues due to reopening of the economy as well, and the funding, federal funding stimulus payment that was provided and is continuing to be provided by the federal government. We also continue to be a lean organization. We have 69 employees, and we continue to provide jobs in the community. 95% of our revenues are invested in the private sector. So this concludes my presentation. I want to give special thanks to Stephanie and to the rest of the RTC staff. And I also want to express my appreciation. Thank you for allowing me to present it to you today, our budget. If you have any questions I can answer, please let me know. Stephanie's and my contacts are on the slide if questions arise after the meeting.
Ms. Williams, thank you for your presentation. Do we have any questions for Ms. Williams this evening?
This is Matthew. Sorry. So I'm not sure if you can answer this or not, but I'm just curious, year by year, are we gradually accumulating debt or are we gradually paying it off?
We're gradually paying it off.
Okay, fabulous. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your question.
Hi, this is Dora Martinez. I have a question. So I'm sure your slide is fascinating. I can't see, I'm blind, so I'm going to look at it afterwards. And I hope I can call you so you can walk with me with it. I just have a quick question because you were going over the paratransit budget. So my question is, do they have money to bring in new buses for the RTC access buses? And you said they are bringing some for the flex ride, is that correct?
That is correct. And please give me a call after the meeting and I'll be happy to share slides with you and go over in details if you have any additional questions. And to answer your question, yes, we will be using federal funding to purchase new buses, replacement buses. We're actually on schedule to purchase additional 20 buses, and they will be funded with federal funds.
Okay, so my question is, this is Dora Martinez for the record. So my question is to you, with the buses that you said, are the big bus where the RTC buses and the Star van, or are those, are they going to purchase both of those type of things?
Yelena, this is David Carr, and we have 20 fixed route buses in the budget. We also have 15 new paratransit vehicles in the budget at $2.1 million.
Okay, I'm just concerned because I do ride the access bus. The shocks needs to be worked on because I sit in the back with my dog because I do not want other passengers to step on my $75,000 service dog. And sometimes the bumps are small, but it feels really rough back there. And also the Star van that sometimes I get on, it's hard to maneuver when there's a wheelchair in there. I have to get out in order for the wheelchair users to get out. So maybe you might want to look at other different type of model for the Star vans, and also the steps that to get on in the medical bus. I don't know, one of those buses that one of the driver named Courtney drives. It's tricky, those steps. I have a video I took that I almost fell. So those might be advised not to buy. And also the ramp for the Star van. We were on the van, the minivan, and there was an elderly woman using a walker. She almost fell back. So you might want to consider the ramps, how many degrees and such. Thank you. I will call you later. Thank you. Those were just my concern.
Thank you so much for your comments. And David is taking notes, and I will pass this message to public transit people, folks as well. Thank you. I appreciate your feedback. It's very important for us to know this.
Ms. Williams, this is Vince Harris. First of all, thank you for your presentation, but I did notice that your presentation, we were provided information in our packet for the committee meeting this evening. It doesn't really match up exactly with your presentation, which is fine. I'm just trying to marry the two together. I noticed in the packet that we got on page 2 of 15, I had a couple of questions, but I don't know if you can answer without seeing it. Let me see if I can just articulate the question. Maybe we can talk later. I noticed that in the preservation and multimodal projects category, that the 2021 budget was $75.4 million, but it's estimated that we're only going to expend 58.7, some $16 million difference in expenditure. And I'd like an understanding of why are we so under budget?
And you know, this is a very good question. And I have to say, with the road project, the complexity is we are budgeting, we're signing the contracts and we're budgeting, we're estimating how much we will spend during the year. But a lot of road construction projects, we were able to expedite during the pandemic because of the closure of the businesses. A lot of people were working remotely. So we were able to actually complete quite a few projects faster. However,
so faster, and also, were you getting bids under your budgeted bids that you thought you would have?
Oh, this one actually is reversed. The estimated is 58 and the budgeted is 75. So we,
right.
We base our budget on the estimated timeline and the expenditures for the projects, but then they might progress faster or slower, and it depends on the project. So I would have to look into the specific projects that are budgeted here and provide those details to you to answer your exact questions.
Okay, we'll give you a call later. Thank you so much.
Well, I'd like to chime in just a little bit, Vince. This is Stephanie Haddock. I'm the Director of Finance for the RTC, for the record. So, you know, as it was presented in the presentation, we had carry forward about $16 million in road projects. And that's mostly because, again, as Yelena was saying, they all get timed a little bit differently. The engineering team, you know, gives us estimates and says, here's what we think we're going to get done in a fiscal year. But as you know, things don't always go according to plan. And I asked specifically one of the engineering managers about this, and he actually pointed to there was a lot of issues with obtaining some right-of-way. We a lot of our projects, we have to go out and get right-of-way, temporary construction easements, sometimes permanent construction easements, and we also have to deal with the railroad. Like one of the primary projects that got held up this year, or that was budgeted last year, is going to move into this year, is the Golden Valley. There's a railroad, they're going to be in the railroad crossing in that project, and working with the railroad took a lot longer than we anticipated. So that's usually, you know, the timing differences happen just because, you know, not all projects go to plan.
Understood. I understand the process quite well. Thank you. Are there any other questions for Ms. Williams this evening?
Yeah, this is Sig Rice. It sounds like from your presentation that the RTC's come through the COVID budget crisis pretty well. And it sounds like you didn't get pushed back on projects, you may have even advanced. So would you characterize it that way?
I completely agree with your assessment. We received 26 million in federal stimulus payments, and that helped us to keep our full services for the public transit and paratransit and continue our road projects as well. We did not slow down. We did not have any decrease in the provided services in regards to the public transit. And our road projects were progressing very well as well. So overall, I feel like RTC fiscal year 2021, we had a good year, even though we had a small decrease in our revenues in the fuel tax area. But the federal stimulus did help us to move and have a good year overall.
Well, that's very fortunate, I think, for everyone. Thank you.
Are there any additional questions this evening?
I have one more question. This is Dora Martinez for the record. Ms. Williams, would you go over so many millions I heard, and I'm getting mixed up in my head. How much did we get for the tax revenue again?
Sure, of course. So overall, RTC received fuel tax is 92 million. Federal funding that we received during the year was at 47 million. Oh, I guess you said just the taxes,
the fuel
right?
tax, so 92 million. So how much of that goes to access?
Let me just look it up fairly quickly. That's a good question. Let me see if I have it.
Sorry. Oh, that was my doorbell. I apologize.
Oh my gosh.
I turned my
I'm going to be deaf and blind.
Sorry. No fuel tax goes to any of the paratransit. It's not a legal funding source for public transit.
So where does it go? Just for clarification. Thank you. This is Dora Martinez for the record.
Ms. Martinez, you have a very good question. 1/4 of that we receive in, your fuel tax, right? Fuel tax, I was mixing with sales tax, I apologize. The fuel tax goes for the road projects. It covers our street and highway program that I just covered, but
okay, so and that is that a law through Nevada, the NRS, or is that a federal law?
It is for Nevada NRS. Mm-hmm.
Then would you be able to provide me the NRS number?
Yes.
I'll just show you my email later. Thank you so much. I don't want to take time.
That would be great. I'll be happy to share. Mm-hmm. All very good questions. I appreciate them.
Well, thank you again for the presentation this evening, Ms. Williams. If we have no further questions, can I get a motion to recommend approval of the budget to the RTC board?
This is Jillian Keller. I move to approve recommendation.
Dora Martinez, I second.
Who was the second again?
Dora Martinez.
Dora, thank you for the second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the item passes. Thank you very much again for the presentation.
Thank you, everyone. I really appreciate the opportunity to present.
Moving on to item number 5, which are member announcements and agenda items for future meetings. Do we have any suggestions for future meetings from the committee?
I have one. This is Dora Martinez. Dan, I don't know if you remember, but I think it was end of last year. Every day is the same. I apologize, but Amy was talking about a new, Amy Cummings, a new bus, I think like a station or something by the Meadowwood Mall. Would somebody be able to present that and how it's going, the progress of that, project?
Sure, Dora, and thank you for that question. And just to give you a real brief update, we were going to do a study and analysis about relocating that in the vicinity, but we kind of took a pause on that, and I defer to any of my RTC colleagues if they want to offer up any more information. But right now, we're not really pursuing that at this moment in time.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted clarification. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Thank you. Moving on to item number 6. Do we have any?
Sorry,
any comments
I had a couple of.
Pardon me.
Sorry, I had a suggestion for a future meeting item.
Go ahead, Matthew. Sorry, I didn't hear you.
I heard some various chat about a little bit about the Center Street bike project. Maybe some fundamental changes. Maybe could we learn a little bit about that next time?
Hi, Matthew. Yeah, Dan Dent, just for the record. And I absolutely think that'd be appropriate to bring back. Again, just a little background information. That item is going before our RTC board in June. And so with that, I think we would probably bring it back in July after we've heard a little more direction and discussion at our board meeting, and staff is more informed to speak to that project.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Again, item number 6, RTC ride access staff. Any items this evening?
I do have one announcement for the record, Dan Denges. So I want to thank everyone's steady participation and patience over this last year as we've conducted these meetings virtually. We did receive direction that the RTC offices will be officially opening to the public on June 1st. And with that, we are going to transition into a hybrid meeting model for our advisory committees. So we still want to offer this virtual Zoom format, but we'll also be opening our doors to in-person for any members that wish to attend that way as well. And really, we kind of see this as the best of both worlds, you know, as a matter of convenience and everyone's personal comfort level. So just wanted to say that will probably commence next month in June, but we will follow up with more details as we get closer.
Okay, thanks, Dan. And item number
this
7.
is Dora.
Yes,
go ahead, Vince. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
No. Go right ahead, please.
This is Dora Martinez for the record. I was just, I don't know when would be the right appropriate time to ask, but and then just shoot me if I, mute me. I mean, if I'm off the record, not doing it right. But I had a quick question regarding safety procedures for RTC access riders. When will be a right time to ask the question? Is it now?
Yeah, go ahead, Dora. We have several staff that might be able to address your question.
Okay, so when a person rides access ride, and let's say I got an email saying that the max before was a total of 4 people, and I don't know if that includes the driver, but at one time we had more than 4 people on the bus. And also with that, there was another person with a dog. That's not a service dog because it was a Chihuahua, and service, that's a emotional support animal. And I don't know if RTC follows the new, the federal guideline that came out. And it really did distract my dog as it came to my dog. And it's not okay. And sometimes when I try to, tell them to take their dog, they get aggressive. So when will the driver have to step in, or what does the RTC access got to do regarding that? And I saw that there was no grievance form to be found on the website. There's just a generic form. I don't know. And I don't know who's the ADA coordinator yet. Maybe I came across it, but I'm reading a lot, so I probably just kind of forgot. So yeah, my question, the safety procedures first, thanks.
Sure. And Dora, if you're okay with that, maybe staff can reach out to you offline to kind of discuss those. We do have Jim Gee on the line, and I know he could probably address that, but it might be better to have a kind of an offline dialogue if that's okay with you.
Yeah, that would be great, but Dora Martinez for the record, but I think it would also be wonderful if there's like procedures on the RTC Washoe website regarding safety with access folks. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 7, do we receive any additional public comment tonight, Dan?
No additional comment was received.
All right.
And this is Dora Martinez. Hey, Vince, real quick, one public comment. Please. I want to thank RTC. You guys do good things. I was able to go get my shot on Route 2, and it was pretty accessible. It was right there, and sidewalk was perfect. Everybody was very well accommodating. So thank you. And it was a free ride too, because it was, you know, when you go get your COVID, it's a free ride.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Sig Gianrice, I will move to adjourn the meeting.
Thank you, Sid. Can I get a second, please?
Jeff Bonanno, I second.
Who was the second?
Jeff Bonanno.
Jeff Bonanno, second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? This meeting is adjourned at 8:14. See you next month. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks, everyone. Have a great night.
Bye.
And pardon me, that adjournment is 6:14.
Yeah, I thought that was an awful.